Hello, this is Victoria Mahle and
Adrian Schmidt.
And today we will be looking at Avid graduation, the school dress code, and graduation cap decoration.
First up, here's a story on how FBLA did at state. Here's Trayton Howell.
The FBLA club at Sedro-Woolley High School recently returned from the Student Business Leadership Conference. Here's a look at what went down from the weekend.
The FBLA club at Sedro-Woolley recently returned from the Student Business Leadership Conference. This year, every member of the FBLA club at Sedro-Woolley made it to the state level of the program. Although this was the case, not everyone was able to attend the event. We asked the FBLS competitors Alexis Magana and Arden Vanden Heuvel how it was competing without their partner Jared Cooley.
So it was really hard to make a whole presentation without him because I was so used to having that kind of energy. But luckily for me, I had Alexis come aboard during state, and so we were able to bounce off of each other pretty well, similar to me and Jared.
Although we did have to alter our speech a little bit because it was with 3 people instead, and then we had to do it with 2 people at state.
So basically we just had to do longer here and there, everywhere. But altogether it went really well.
One of our very own Sedro-Woolley High School students made the position as FBLA state officer. Bailey Jones was among the officers who made the SBLC such a success.
One of my biggest obstacles at SBLC was the lack of time we had. We were constantly on the move. We would get up between 5 and 6 every morning and not be back to our rooms till midnight. So trying to get so much done in such a short period of time was really difficult.
Out of the 9 people who made it to state, 3 of them made it to the national level. These members are Alexis Magana, Arden Vanden Heuvel, and Jared Cooley. They attend the event to present their PSA, which was on drone safety.
Good luck to the leaders of FBLA at the National Leadership Conference. Now, back to you guys.
Thanks for the information, Trayton, and good luck to those going to nationals.
As graduation approaches, the class of 2018 are thinking creatively and want to decorate their grad caps. Here's Patrick with the story.
The class of 2018 is considering decorating their graduation caps. We interview Ms. Carlton, the graduation committee, and students about the topic.
I feel like it should be left up to the individual to do it. I know that there's some people that want to keep it traditional and there's some people that want to be able to decorate their cap, and I just feel like that's your personal choice as long as it fits in with keeping it school appropriate, and if we can get some guidelines made to keep it school appropriate and try to just vet out like the bad and the good from it, I feel like it would be a really good idea to just let everyone have their own choice.
Being able to decorate the caps will not only embrace individuality, but it'll also, show a little bit of uniqueness in each student. We're all there together. We're all a big happy family, Cub strong together in our blue gowns, and then just a little add of, uniqueness, whether it be embracing what college we're going to, or a quote that got us through these 4 years, or, just something that has helped us on the way. I think that would be really important.
To be honest with you, I didn't really have necessarily an opinion to start with. Last year, I had the senior class come up to me and ask me if it's something that we could look into and research. So I did. So I did my research. I talked to each school board member, asked them to think about what their thoughts were about the graduation caps, and then also our administrative team and our building leadership team. And so it went through the process of at least 30 people kind of having an eye and an ear over the input related to it. And the overall consensus was that we feel that it helps our school stand as a united class, and that the students can show their individuality in terms of like what they earn, whether it's honor cords or so forth.
Even though other schools are decorating their caps, Sedro-Woolley is keeping it basic and blue.
Thanks, Patrick. Personally, I like the plain blue. Next, we have Natalia and Jacob with the French 2 class dance.
Hey Cubs, it's Natalia Pickens reporting on the French 2's dance competition that they'll be having here in June very soon for the final grade in their class.
The song is the same song every year, and it's the song called Veux-tu danser, which means do you want to dance? It was written and composed by a music educator and curriculum writer from Canada, Matt Maxwell. And this is the 7th year that we're doing the song and dance contest. The judges rotate every year. It's always a mix of administrators, teachers who have planning periods during the song and dance contest, sometimes custodians, school nurses, secretaries. So my list isn't final, but I'm assured that I'll have a panel of at least a handful of judges on Monday. So this year we have a new A-B schedule, which has meant the students are rehearsing every other day, and it hasn't been the most convenient for my time frame in terms of how much rehearsal time I'd like to give the students. So I suspect we have a little less time for preparing the whole contest this year as previous years, but my feeling is the teams are going to dance strong. They're going to give it their best shot, and of course there's some dancers and singers who are really strong and some who are less so. But everybody's on stage working together, and hopefully the point is, just to have fun, but having fun while you're singing and dancing in French.
This has been Natalia Perkins reporting on the French 2's dance competition. Back to you.
Every first weekend in June, Sedro-Woolley hosts the Blast from the Past. Here's Eli with what to expect this weekend.
We asked Paula Kelly from the Sedro-Woolley Chamber of Commerce about the upcoming event, Blast from the Past.
Blast from the Past is a community event that the Chamber of Commerce sponsors, and it involves many different elements. Every year it tends to change and grow a little bit. Generally we start out with a arts and crafts vendor down the main street of town, and they come in on Fridays. On Saturday we're introducing something new, and that is a Blast from the Past color run walk. Registration, if you're not already signed in, will begin at 9, and then the race will start, or the run. It's not a race. You don't have to worry about your time or anything. And then on Sunday we have a car show, and also on Saturday we have games for kids in the square, which are hula hoops, jump ropes, watermelon eating, and then we also have music twice that day. On Saturday afternoon we have a band. On Saturday evening we have a band, and then on Sunday we'll have music during the car show as well. So
I hope you guys all make it to Blast from the Past.
Sounds like fun. If it wasn't for the prom on Saturday, I would check out the color run.
Now let's send it over to Alexis, who both participated and covered the story on the Seniors Avid Night.
May 25th, the Avid seniors were sent off in a final hurrah. Avid Night celebrates those seniors who are graduating out of the Avid program. Since the 7th grade, most of the Sedro-Woolley High School seniors have bonded and created memories with one another. Every year, one of the final memories the seniors create is commemorating it all during the annual Senior Avid Night. This is a time when these senior classes are awarded for the accomplishments they have made together. Mr. Marshall Lobestall and Mr. Sean Doffing have been their teachers this past year, paired with Miss Amanda Shaban, Miss Janet Dillard, and Mr. Scott Conlon during their freshman, sophomore, and junior years. During their time at Cascade Middle School, both Miss Brenna Hadwin and Mr. Cal Brumbaugh were their instructors. When Savannah Treadway was asked which teacher impacted her the most, she couldn't give just one answer.
I had Mr. Dolphing, and he's been like my biggest role model, I think, because he's watched me grow from just a young kid into this adult that's going off to college. He really, he never gave up on me, which I appreciate so much. He pushed me. He knew I had potential, and he did it. And then Miss Dillard, she's like my mom, she was stern, but also very sweet and caring and understanding of what we were all going through.
Multiple students and teachers gave speeches as well as shared memories as part of these events that night. Each year was reminisced upon, not one thing was left out. Since Mr. Sean Doffing was not able to give a speech at Avid Night, he shares a little piece of advice.
Yeah, definitely. They've been training for the real life for the last 6 years. Everything they've learned, everything that they've been working on is going to serve them well and take them to the next step so that they can be successful, which is why they got into Avid in the first place.
Countless friendships and bonds were made over these years. Lifelong connections were only made possible through these seniors' past years in Avid.
So Avid has meant a lot to me in different ways. It gave me this family that I would have never had without, and endless support that I don't think I would have graduated without, honestly, without them.
I'd have to say just meeting everybody. I've just made so many new friends.
My advice I'd give to underclassmen as they approach the new year is that it may seem hard and it might not seem worth it, but just keep working hard and stay motivated and just stay close with your friends and keep going, because the payoff will be really great if you keep working hard.
Avid has been the most influential part of these students' lives, and they wouldn't be the students they are today if it wasn't for Avid.
Thanks, Alexis. Avid Night was very emotional and inspirational.
It seems like all these final events for seniors are quickly passing by. Here's Rochelle and Victoria with an expose on the school dress code.
According to fine law, school boards are generally allowed to create and enforce dress code programs within their districts. They must do so without violating the constitutional rights of students.
Our school district has tried to make a perfect dress code for students, staff, and parents. Here are some opinions on the dress code.
Today, I got dress coded because I was wearing a romper that came down to here, even though in the dress code it says that it only has to go down to the middle of the thigh, but they thought that it was inappropriate, and somehow it says in here that my school dresses impact the learning environment.
So we consider our school needs to be a professional atmosphere of learning, and so to keep that atmosphere, we ask that students dress professional for school.
I've never been dress coded, and I don't have any problems with people who are doing it. It doesn't affect my learning, but they should be able to walk out of their house wearing something appropriate. Some people wear some really provocative stuff. Guys should learn how to wear a belt too, because their underwear shows all the time. So I think guys should be able to get dress coded.
We get sexualized for our shoulder blades being shown, our shoulders. I can't wear a shirt like this or anything. But if a guy's wearing, let's say, a wife beater, they are not sexualized as much as we are. So if I was wearing the same wife beater as he was, I'd be the one to get dress coded for it. He would not. But I could sexualize him in the same way he sexualizes me with his shoulder blades showing. I can't show that I'm interested in his shoulder blades. I think that's hot. He can show that he thinks it's good, that he likes it.
After I got called into the office for 25 minutes about my romper because it was in the middle of my thigh, they made me go home during power hour and change, and because of that I missed PE makeups. So yes, so as much as our clothes we wear distract our learning, so does them trying to change our clothes.
So first off, before you leave your house, you should always make sure, is this in dress code? Am I going to get called out for dress code? Because as a student, you have the responsibility to dress appropriately for school. If you're going to the beach, your attire is going to look maybe entirely different. If you're going to the mall, different. If you're going on a date, different. But if you're coming to school, it should look a certain way and should meet dress code requirements.
I've had these shorts since my sophomore year, and I've never been dress coded. So I feel should either dress code everyone or don't dress code at all. It's not fair to pick and choose who you dress code.
It does make sense, so you should come to school without any underwear showing.
Not everyone agrees or disagrees with the dress code, and that's okay.
Let's all try our hardest to still be ourselves but apply to the dress code.
Thanks for the information. Hopefully this clears up misunderstandings.
Finally, we have a report on the new broadcasting program at Sedro-Woolley High School.
We want to continue, and today you will see a story on the broadcasting class.
Okay, first off, if you want to be a YouTuber, join broadcasting. If you want to play games and edit videos, join broadcasting. If you love the way that news transitions between and oh, how did they do that? You ever question how they're doing that? Then join broadcasting.
The KUBZ broadcast, that's something.
Yeah, have you seen any of the broadcasts?
I've been forced to, does that count?
Okay, so Broadcasting is a way for news to get out to people, so it's news relevant stories that are broadcasted out to the general public. So broadcasting through news stations or broadcasting through the school means you have a group of students who capture through film important relevant news stories and then broadcast that out to the students.
Broadcasting is a brand new program this year we've introduced at Sedro-Woolley High School. A lot of schools our size already have a broadcasting program, and it's basically we broadcast events that happen at the school, like choir concerts, sporting events, the spring musical, the fall play, and things like that. So we broadcast the events, and we have several cameras set up in different locations, and we have what's called a TriCaster, which is a board that has each camera hardwired into it, and the director of the broadcast will push a button and go to camera 2 or go to camera 1, and you'll see what's on that camera for a while, and then it'll cut to another angle to show what another camera's looking at. Students that should take broadcasting would be kids that are interested in editing and filmmaking, and also if they're journalists, they like doing newspaper work. They might also enjoy broadcasting because it's kind of the same thing. It's just you're doing journalism on air as opposed to journalism in print.
If you like journalism or news, join broadcasting. Now back to you.
Thank you for watching our final KUBZ broadcast for this year. Tune in next September.